Arsenal are not just playing good football, they are playing elite, modern, dominant football. And it's not just luck, it's a result of 10 huge factors that make this squad one of the best in Europe. Let's break them down and I will try to explain every single one of them, right? And first of all, of course, we are going to start with this system. Elite tactical identity. Arteta system, right? And we know how much troubles Arteta was getting at the start of his reign, but right now I guess more and more people are buying in, right? Clear positional play structure, 2-3-5 in possession and 4-4-2 in pressing shape. And here we have amazing tool and amazing ways of finding that out. Yesterday it was Arsenal versus Bayern, and we all saw how that 2-3-5 and 4-4-5 actually works, right? And of course, in possession we are having 2-3-5, right? How the 2-3-5 happens? We have Skelly, Mosquera, Saliba, Timber as our big four, and then we have Zubimendi and Rice, right? We have Eze, Trossard, Merino, and Saka. Basically, depending where they are pushing us from the right side, from the left side, that winger is basically going down and they are helping the defender left back, right? For example, if right side is overloaded, Saka is going to help. If the Skelly is overloaded, then Trossard is going to help, right? But whenever we are pressing, that's what actually happens, right? Whenever we are pressing, and we actually pressed Bayern a lot yesterday. Well, that actually goes like this, right? Merino goes for the left-sided center back. Eze goes to the right-sided. Saka is there. Zubi and Rice is following, and of course our left backs, right? Who is left behind is of course our two center backs who are defending, so enemy won't gonna throw us the long balls, and it will be harder for us to actually defend, right? That's the tactical identity of this team, how they play the games, and that's the way the Arsenal Football Club is being run by the Arteta, right? Perfect balance between control and aggression, right? And here Arsenal was getting a lot of scrutiny because yes, games was really boring, but at least results were coming here, right? At least the wins were getting up and 3 points were added to the board. Of course, if Arsenal won't gonna win anything at the end of the season, this might go to the trash simply because nobody wants control and aggression and winning the football matches. If you are not winning the trophies at the end of this season, right? But of course, as a football fans, we should be happy regarding every single good result because that's why we are watching football, right? Focus on overloads and isolations, right? Here we are speaking about the attacking sense. Martinelli, Saka, Madueke, and Eze basically are 1 versus 1 players who are capable of running them down and creating the chance, creating assists, creating goals. We can easily put Trossard here, but because of the not having enough pace, if we are comparing to these ones, then yeah, Trossard is more of a technical player who finds space by his technical abilities and good sense of pass, and of course, sense of danger, who is getting some goals for Arsenal. Arsenal are one of the best in Europe at rest defense, always prepared for counters, right? What's the rest defense? Basically, if you watch Arsenal games, doesn't matter when and how, if Arsenal is attacking, always there is two players who is sitting back and waiting if the opposition is going to have a counter attack, right? That's the rest defense. So always you are having at least two players who are defending at set pieces, at your own counter attack, at your positional play. So basically you are safe at home at your back, and you are having two players. Sometimes it's center back, sometimes it's midfielders, and of course your keeper, right? That's the Arteta system, which I believe every single player is buying into. Without that, I'm not really sure if we as an Arsenal football club will buy the new players, because that's how we have been going for past 2-3 years, right? Of course, last summer was totally different. We got a new director who is in charge, and he's bringing us some new style of directing the football in the Arsenal Football Club. That's the step number one, right? Let's move to step number two, and here we are having a total squad buy-in, right? Every player understands exactly what Arteta wants. Here we have to speak that yes, it's amazing that every player understands what Arteta wants, but I believe even for myself, that fans want some freedom, right? Fans want some freedom in order for players to enjoy their style, enjoy their gameplay, and enjoy their football, right? But time by time, we are progressing. I can see our players getting more freedom than before, especially at the start of the season. No freelancing, no ego football, every action is connected. What's the most important regarding this stage is no ego football, right? Yes, ego is important, every single football player should have ego, but not higher than your football club, right? We are here to work under the same goal, under one manager. Of course, if things go left and things go bad, we have to ask questions, but if we are together, right? That's how winning football clubs operate, in my opinion. So togetherness, no ego whenever we are talking about our teammates, that's what makes winning culture, right? Training intensity is extremely high, Pep style of standards. I hope it's Pep style of standards, because Pep have been one of the best, if not the best managers in the past, 10, 15 years. High intensity in trainings also means a lot of injuries, and I hope somehow we are going to fix that. It's a big thing, because if you are not going to have squad at the end of the season, who cares about good intensity, right? But of course, it's really important. Good intensity is better than no intensity in training. That's what I'm trying to say. Young squad, hungry, coachable, high energy. That's the key, right? Hunger is the key. Of course, you want to have hungry players who want to win, who want to learn, who want to progress their careers, right? Coachable. Of course, if player is not coachable, I'm sorry, we should sell that kind of players, right? High energy, of course, is connected to the young squad. Of course, younger players will have higher energy. But we have to mention that in order for us to win the trophies, we need experience, we need already established players, and finally, slowly, we are getting them, right? And total squad buy-in. Everybody knows their roles, everybody understands how we are playing football, and everybody is going with the one direction, winning football matches and winning trophies, right? I hope that's the goal. Let's move to the third point, right? Third point is, of course, without good recruitment philosophy, football clubs can't be really successful, right? In terms of financial standpoint, in terms of winning trophies, and in terms of building this squad, right? Arsenal don't buy stars, they create them. This sentence was created 10, 15, 20 years ago, whenever Arsene Wenger was the coach of the Arsenal. Unfortunately, during that time, we were creating stars and we were selling them, but right now, everything is basically changed. We create them and we keep them, right? Saka is going to renew the contract, Saliba renewed the contract, Timber is next, Rice is next. Basically, we are renewing the contracts of the most important players for our squad, right? So that's the key. All signings fit the profile. So the profile, everybody knows was the profile of the new signings of Arsenal, right? Technical, athletically strong, we easily can take athletically strong first. System adaptable and mentally elite, right? Then if we're gonna go through our recent signings, they are mentally strong because every single one of them had big injuries. they came back even stronger, right? That's a high mentality, that's a strong mentality in a football player, and that's a good mentality in a football club, right? You are not keeping your head down after the big injury, you are coming back even stronger, right? That's a desire, that's the mentality of the football club who wants to get better, right? Rice, Ødegaard, Eze, Zubimendi, Timber, Calafiori, all high IQ players who are able to play in a different positions during the matches, like after matches, like before matches, changing the tactics are no problem because, well, every single one of them was here brought back to the club with this profile. Technically, athletically strong, system adaptable, and mentally elite, right? So they are going to take every single adversity which they will get in the game and they will try to overcome that, right? And so far, especially this season, we are actually seeing that, right? Yeah, without good recruitment, nothing can be built, right? So I hope these points was kind of true, right? The fourth one, which we can continue speaking regarding the squad, of course, squad depth and versatility, right? And this season have been one of the major factors of Arsenal being number one, first place in Premier League and first place in Champions League, right? Almost every player can cover multiple positions. Calafiori, center back and left back. White, center back, right back. Timber, basically anywhere in defense. Harvitz is two positions, but Harvitz is injured. Merino's three positions. Midfield 8, 10, and striker. Saka, two positions. Saka, basically we can put more than three. We can put three positions: left back, right wing, and left wing, right? So easily four positions. Madueke, right wing, left wing. Eze, three positions. Kelly, two or three positions. So basically, injuries and this versatility to the players who can play in a different positions without any harm. Of course, every single one of them has a preferred position where they are performing best, but sometimes squad is getting hit by injuries, sometimes opposition is different and you have to maneuver around your players, right? Which is really key. Depth is not just quantity, it's a role specific depth, right? Almost every single player is bringing something different to the position. That's why it's key, right? And I think Arsenal are going to be investing in the new players who are playing in a different positions, right? Because the matches and amount of matches and the fixture is getting longer and longer. And unfortunately or fortunately, football clubs who want to be successful, they have to invest in a deeper squad, right? And the results we are already seeing in this season of Premier League or Champions League or basically anywhere in the world, right? That's the fourth point. Let's go to the fifth, and yeah, we are finally here regarding defense. Defensive dominance is the key of Arsenal's success, in my opinion. Arsenal are not just good, they are elite defensively. Lowest XG in Premier League. Gabriel and Saliba's partnership is basically a cheat code, and set piece dominance under Nicolas Jower, and plus pressing structure forces opponents into bad zones. So yeah, Arsenal's defense, right? And I want to have a kind of weird take. I believe Arsenal's defense are not only Saliba and Gabriel, which was in the past couple of years, right? I believe anybody who is going to enter in the Arsenal's defense, they are going to perform well because they know their roles. They have played in that type of systems in the past, and they are really easily adaptable to our system, right? And this type of players we are getting for our defense, if you know how to play as a center back, if you know how to play as a right back, basically you know what it feels like to be in the shoes of your teammate, right? You know what kind of pass you want to get in a certain positions, how you are defending, how he is defending, what's the correct positioning, and so on, right? And of course, physically strong, height matters, right? Pace matters, and Arsenal basically have everything, right? They have height, pace, they love to defend, they love to score, defenders who love to score, and they can. That's amazing, right? So I believe There is not a single winner of any championships like Champions League, Premier League, La Liga, who does not care about defense, right? All the winner teams had elite defense, not at least not elite but good, right? If you are having bad defensive formation, bad players who doesn't understand how to defend, yeah, you're gonna have problems, right? You have to have good one at this type of Premier League, especially where unfortunately attacking game is getting back and more defense is going up, right? That's the fifth point, in my opinion, why Arsenal are so good. Let's move on. The sixth, right? Midfield control, right? Declan Rice transformed the team, elite in defensive transitions, breaks the lines with carries, wins duels, and wins territory. Ødegaard, Eze, Zubimendi orchestrates everything, tempo, rhythm, pressing, and triggers. So, yeah, we have to speak about Declan Rice, right? We have to speak about him, 100 million pounds player who at first was nobody was speaking about his price tag. Then people were saying what he brings to the game, and I believe from this season and from the second half of the last season, everybody knows what Declan Rice brings to the team, right? And what's changed behind the last season and the current season is Martin Zubimendi, right? Martin Zubimendi wins duels. Martin Zubimendi orchestrates games through the midfield, and it opens the space and it opens the game for Declan Rice to do whatever he wants, right? I don't see any player who has the same engine as Declan Rice. I have not seen a player who does not get tired, who plays basically every game in a season, almost every game, and he runs. And those runs are not just runs. The runs which are giving Arsenal advantages, the runs which are helping Arsenal in defense. So Declan Rice is basically everywhere, right? Declan Rice is winning the midfield by himself. And can you imagine? Arsenal brought Zubimendi, who is a controller, who is control type of midfielder, who will help Declan Rice to defend, who will help Declan Rice to run. So yeah, the midfield with Declan Rice and Martin Zubimendi is elite, and it's also going to get better because I believe Zubimendi will need some more time to get used to it, to the whole Arsenal squad, whole change of environment, because I believe whenever Zubimendi will play with the flow, not with too much thinking, it will go even much better, right? So yeah, 6 point, midfield control, really important. Let's go to sevens, and yeah, everybody spoke about set pieces, and of course I have to speak. Set piece superiority. Arsenal score a huge percentage from set pieces, corners, routines, blocks. Analytical preparation is insane, one of the best in Europe. This adds goals when the attack is not flowing, right? Yes, and here I have my opinion, right? Whenever team is playing against Bayern, against Tottenham, against Liverpool, Real Madrid, of course, hype is different. The players are getting different kind of adrenaline, so basically everything is different, right? Then you go back to Premier League and you are playing Burnley, you are playing, I don't know, Wolves, and you are not having same adrenaline, same passion, I don't know, same energy, right? That's when set pieces will come to hand against lower tier players when you are not at your best. You're gonna score from set piece 1-0. Good luck. And next, let's move to the next game. Who might be the better opponents in terms of stature, right? And of course, we know that players like to play in the big games, right? Of course, they want to play football in general, but if we are comparing Burnley to Real Madrid, of course, let's not do that, right? So, set pieces, not only to the lower tier teams, but also to higher tier teams, basically being a threat and having another threat to a team is, of course, amazing, right? Let's move to the 8th. Culture and leadership, and here we can speak directly to this year. I believe last year it was questions, but I believe questions because of the injuries. But this year, culture plus leadership, right? Clear hierarchy: Ødegaard, Rice, Gabriel, Saka, Raya. Raya is actually one of the oldest players in our Arsenal squad. Arteta created a no compromise culture. Be late, you are out. Poor training, you don't play. The dressing room is extremely united. So regarding dressing room, right? Dressing room is united, and we can see it from the social media. Bad result, good result. Everybody's cheering themselves, cheering their teammates. Everybody's a positive note. Nobody is playing with the ego. Nobody says that I'm more important than some player. Nobody cries whenever they are not playing, because we can see, like for example, Lewis Kelly could come out and said, you are not letting me go to the World Cup, play me more, but nothing like this. This came out from the Arsenal dressing room. No media sabotages, no nothing poor, right? This is what it means to have extremely united dressing room, which is one of the most important things in any organization, not only in football, right? And yeah, there is a lot of people who are questioning the captaincy of Ødegaard, but I'm just happy that there is a more leaders in the team than just Ødegaard, right? Let's go. Let's go to Nine's physical level. Arsenal are physically monstrous compared to 2020-2021 season. Yeah, it's a big difference. Every position has speed, strength, and stamina, right? One of the highest running teams in the league. Well, the new generation is football is changed. If you are running, if you are not strong, if you don't have stamina, if you are getting injured, well, you don't have a place in football, right? There is a special occasions who are not runners, who don't have the strength or stamina, who are playing the high level. But trust me, there is a higher percentage of players who have to have these three attributes whenever they are playing football. And in the Arsenal team, I think there is a 90% of players who have these attributes: speed, strength, and stamina, right? Of course, there is an injury list currently in the team and in the last year, but I believe every single football club in Premier League, La Liga, or anywhere in the world are struggling with injuries because of the hard and strange features of their games, right? Let's move to the last point, which is game management. Arsenal know how to kill games now, much more mature, slowing tempo, technical fouls, positional discipline. They can win in multiple ways: possession, counter, pressing, set pieces, and low block breaking. I think the last night's game against Bayern was amazing. Example how we can describe this game management. First half, Arsenal just basically gave the ball to Bayern, and they were basically focused on set pieces and counter attack. But when they understood that Bayern was not creating any chances, they were getting back to the ball more and more. Arsenal scored from set piece, which is this part. And the second half, Arsenal stopped countering and giving ball to Bayern. They gained position. They were creating chances. Scored basically the third goal from the counter attack, which is written here. And then yet again, Arsenal gave the ball to Bayern. This is what it means to have a game management during the game, changing the tactics, changing the way of playing, changing the system, right? And I think that's the thing which Amorim is getting criticized, because he can't really change a lot of stuff during the game. And of course, if we are criticizing one manager, we have to give praise to another who is doing exactly what we are asking the other, right? So yeah, Arteta's game management is getting better and better and better, especially like substituting the players who had injury record previously in these couple of late months. And yeah, some people were criticizing Arteta because he subbed the Saga, but I can remind them that whenever he was not subbing Saga, he was criticized again. So yeah, sometimes we have to give him props whenever we are winning, whenever we are defeating the strong opponents in our history, which gave us a lot of pain, right? So far, what I can say, this is my 10 points of Arsenal and why they are so good. You can find my 10 points in basically every game: Bayern, Tottenham, even Sunderland, Slavia Praga, Burnley. So far, the team is progressing, but there is a long way to go. The winners are basically who is achieving their best form in the last 2-3 months of the season. So yeah, we still have to see. There is long road, and hopefully season will be fun, and hopefully Champions League will be fun, right? It was my first video regarding football. I have been football fan for 20-25 years. I played football myself, and hopefully the video was interesting. And as always, if it was, press like, subscribe, share. It will give me more and more motivation to keep making more content about the football, right? Thanks for watching. I wish everybody amazing day, morning, and night. We are going to see each other really, really soon. Bye bye and good luck.